The Zelda community right now is in a full-on debate about whether $59.99 is too much for the Ocarina of Time remake. Over 2,300 upvotes on a Reddit thread in the past 3 weeks. 464 comments of people debating about this. So let's talk about it. Most of the people on both sides of this debate are missing a number that changes the whole conversation. So basically, here's how the debate breaks down. On one side, you have people saying $59.99 is too much for a remake of a game that originally cost the same amount. On the other side, someone said, if it is an expanded reimagining, I would pay $100 no problem. Those are two very different ways of thinking about what this purchase actually is. The question worth asking is, what are we actually comparing $59.99 to? Here's the number nobody in that Reddit thread was starting with. $59.99 in 1998, adjusted for inflation, is approximately $123.34 today. So when people say I paid $59.99 for this in 1998 and they want the same price now, they are actually saying Nintendo is charging you about half of what this game cost in real purchasing power 28 years ago. So something to think about here is this. Nintendo is not raising the price of Ocarina of Time. They are selling you a rebuilt, modernized version of one of the most celebrated games ever made, at literally the lowest inflation-adjusted price this game has ever existed at. That is the foundation of the entire conversation, and it is worth holding on to as we go through the rest of this. Let's also look at what Nintendo has charged for Zelda remakes historically, because this is where context really matters. Wind Waker HD launched at $49.99. Link's Awakening on Switch, a completely rebuilt version with a brand new art style, was $59.99. Majora's Mask 3D and Ocarina of Time 3D were both $39.99 at launch on the 3DS, which was a handheld at a different price tier. Now here's the thing about those comparisons. Every single one of those remakes involved less work than what appears to be happening with the OOT remake for Switch 2. The teaser trailer shows completely new graphics and sound, with also a completely new character model for Link. This is not a port, this is a ground-up rebuild, and $59.99 slouts right in line with what Nintendo has historically charged for that level of work. Now, there's a fear I want to address directly, because it is a real one. Several people in the community pointed out that $59.99 is actually lower than some expected, and their worry was, does that mean less content? Does a lower price tag mean Nintendo cut corners? The Star Fox remake is the best counter-argument here. That launched at $50. By every account from people who played it, it was packed. It expanded on the original story with new cutscenes, and it included an expanded story of what actually happened to Fox's father. It added content. It felt complete. Price and content scope are not the same thing, and Nintendo at this point has a strong enough recent record with remakes that the lower than feared price tag is more likely a strategic decision than a sign of anything being missing. The people saying, I thought it would be $79.99 or even $89.99 are actually the ones who ended up pleasantly surprised. So let's consider the question this way. Not is $59.99 fair for a remake, but would you pay $59.99 to play Ocarina of Time the way Nintendo originally envisioned it before the hardware of 1998 got in the way? Because that is what this appears to be. Here's the threshold test I would apply to this decision. Forget the $59.99 number for a second. Think about how many hours you are likely to get from this game. A first playthrough of the original OOT with all dungeons, side quests, and exploration runs somewhere around 30 to 40 hours for most players. If this remake adds even 20% more content, expanded grottos, a living Hyrule field, more to do in Castle Town, click on the videos in the description for my hopeful wishlist items there, you are looking at 36 to 48 hours instead. At $59.99, that is less than $2 an hour of entertainment. For comparison, a movie ticket right now is roughly anywhere from $8 to $15 for 2 hours. At that math, the OOT remake would have to be completely hollow, less than 30 hours with nothing added, to even approach that cost per hour ratio. So there you have it, additional information about the $59.99 price tag. Adjusted for inflation, it is the cheapest this game has ever been. It lines up exactly with what Nintendo charges for rebuilt remakes. The lower than expected price tag is not a red flag. The content scope of what we have seen justifies it easily by cost per hour math. Is it worth it? For me, yes. So here's my question for you. When you first found out about the price point of the Zelda OOT remake being at $59.99, was your first reaction relief or disappointment? Drop it in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me out and I really do appreciate it. Click on the videos on your screen right now for my wish list items for the Zelda OOT remake. Thanks for watching and I hope you have a great day.